Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's DAF, KIDDUSHIN Lamed Ches. We are actually on Lamed Zayin Amud Beis, 4 lines off the bottom of the Amud. Says the Gemara, Bishloimo Lamanda Amar Moishav, Kol Mokim Shatem Yoishvim Mashma. If you recall, yesterday we had a machlokes. When we have the Lashon Moishavos, Moishvos, Seichem, etc. in the Psukim, what does it mean? One opinion held, it's a reference to anywhere that Klal Yisrael resides, Moishvos, Seichem, wherever it is, whether it's in Eretz Yisrael or outside of Eretz Yisrael. So the mitzvah or the concept discussed in those Psukim are international. The other opinion held, well, actually, Moishav, Moishavos, Moishvei Seichem relates specifically to Eretz Yisrael, and only after they settled down. Yerusha, Yeshiva, they conquered, they inherited, they allotted the territories and divided them amongst the tribes. So these two opinions will be discussed today once again. And the Gemara starts with a kash. So Bishleim Elamanda Amar Moishav. According to the Shita, that when we have the term or the phrase Moishav, Moishvei Seichem, it means anywhere in the world. Kol Mokim Shatem Yoishvim Mashma. If so, we fully understand the next pasuk. KIDDUSHIN. It makes sense that the pasuk speaks about, when speaking about Klal Yisrael, consuming the new crop, of grain. It says like this: So after they entered Eretz Yisrael, it was the day after Pesach, it was the 16th of Nisan, which allows them to start eating the new crop after the Omer is brought, right? So they started at that point. So only going forward can they consume the new crop, but not previously. You know why? Because it's forbidden in Alma. Akruv Omer v'Hadar Achol. That's because they first had to bring the Karban Mincha, the Omer, which releases the new crop, and then they can consume it. And this is despite the fact that they were not yet, fully settled in Eretz Yisrael. It took 14 years to do so. Still, the Chadash restriction, the law that prohibits consuming new crops, new grains, before the Omer is brought, was activated at that early point, even before inheriting, even before settling down, because Moishvei Seichem is unlimited. Kol Mokem Shatem Yoishvim. So that works. But according to the other Shita, we're going to have a hard time understanding why they had to wait. But if Moishvei Seichem is only after inheriting, after settling down, which had not happened at this early point, it was still premature for that. So why couldn't they just sit down and have the new grains immediately upon entering Eretz Yisrael? Why wait? Well, just a practical thing. They didn't need to. The pasuk says they had enough supply from their man, so it was simply unnecessary. So it wasn't like they were held back because of the law, because of the Yisr. It was just a practical matter. The Chsiv, as the pasuk says, "Ubnei Yisrael achlos hamon 40 shana ad bayim el eretz Shabbos." The pasuk describes Klal Yisrael partaking in the manna for 40 years until they arrived at a settled land, el eretz Shabbos, as hamon achlu ad bayim el kteretz Canaan, until they arrived at the outskirts. It's a little bit of a different phrase, a different location, the outskirts of Eretz Canaan, which seems to be contradictory. Eretz Shabbos refers to the actual, primary Eretz Yisrael, which is across the Jordan in Eretz Yisrael, whereas the term El Kitzei Eretz Shabbos, as Rashi is, Ba'arvei Smoyav, outside Eretz Yisrael, at the area of Moiri and Sicha, where Moshe Rabbeinu passed away, which is outside Eretz Yisrael. So we seem to have a contradiction in the pasuk. The man lasted until when? You can't suggest that they already reached Eretz Yisrael proper. Shekvar Nemar El Kseretz Canaan. Pasuk then makes reference to the edge, the outskirts. You can't say it's the outskirts. Because the other part of the pasuk relates to the Eretz Yisrael proper. Hakate said, how do we work this out? Both are true. How? We know Moshe Rabbeinu passed away on the 7th day of Adar. Upasak mon milerid. At that point, the man which was provided to Klal Yisrael on account of Moshe Rabbeinu's merit, as the Gemara elsewhere tells us. So as soon as he passed away, boom, no man. But they still had some leftovers. They can tap into the man which they had saved up. Until when? At Shisha Asar bin Nisan, until 16th of Nisan. So it lasted until then. And that's what the pasuk means when it says that they used the man until they got into Eretz Yisrael proper. Because although it stopped falling, it was no longer being provided. Right? When Moshe Rabbeinu passed away outside in Arvei Moav, El Ketzeretz Canaan, that's when it stopped coming down. But they still have leftovers until they got to Eretz Yisrael proper, until the 16th day of Nisan. So it so happens to be they didn't need a new crop. They didn't need to tap into the local produce until that point, and not because it was asur for them. Tan Yidach. Okay, so on the topic of the man and Moshe Rabbeinu's passing, we have another brisa as follows: Ubnei Yisrael achlos aman arba'im shana. So the pasuk says they had man for 40 years. Question: is it exactly 40 years? Really 40? It was really 40 years minus 30 days. Why? Because Rashi brings that the man only started on the 16th day of Iyar. When they first left Mitzrayim, it took a while until 16th day of Iyar when they got the man for the first time. So it's not really 40 full years, because if it only started on the 16th day of Iyar, the second month of the year, and here we say that the man only lasted them, right? They started having the local product, Pesach, which is the middle of Nisan, so it's a month short of 40 years. Rather, the pasuk is teaching you that in fact they did have, conceptually they had man for 40 years, although not actual man, but those batters that they took out of Mitzrayim, tamu bahem ta'aman. So whatever they took out, the baked goods, the bread, that had some man flavor to it. It was so spiritualized that it gave them the man experience. So in a sense, they had man already upon leaving Mitzrayim, which was Pesach, and it lasted for a full 40 years until they got to Eretz Yisrael 40 years later. Tan Yidach. We have a brisa which says, B'shiva ba'adar meis Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu passed away on Adar number 7, U'b'shiva ba'adar noilad, and born as well on that day. So he passed away on his birthday. Minayin sheb'shiva ba'adar meis. How do you know he passed away on the 7th? Of Adar, shenemar, v'yomal shal Moshe eved Hashem. Pasuk describes his passing. On which day? Let's see. Let's work this out. Uksiv, v'yivku b'nei Yisrael es Moshe b'arvas Moshe shloshim yom. Pasuk says they lamented his passing. They cried for 30 days. And then it says, Uksivahi, Achrei Moshe eved Hashem, Uksiv Moshe avdi meis, ve'atakum avor. Hashem tells Yeshua, okay, it's time to move on, to pass over the Jordan to enter Eretz Yisrael. Uksiv, Ivru b'ker ramachna, go, declare, go, prepare the nation, v'tzavu sa'am leimar achinu lachem tzeidah, prepare your food for the road. We have 3 days to prepare. We're passing over, we're crossing over the Jordan in 3 days. So now it's 33 days since Moshe Rabbeinu's Petira. When was this? They arrived in Eretz Yisrael, 10th day of Nisan, which is 33 days post Moshe Rabbeinu's passing. So let's backtrack. So backtrack 33 days. Right? So now it's 10th of Nisan. Go back 33 days, which gets you to Shiva Ba'adar. Halamanta Shiva Ba'adar Meis Moshe. Okay, Umanai Shiva Ba'adar Neilad Moshe. What about being born on that day? Shnamar Vayimar Leim Ben Meya Be'esrim Shana Ha'noichei Hayom. Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael, today I turn 120. Lo Yuchaloid Lotzes V'Lovoy. I can no longer lead you. It's time to move on. Why did he have to add the word Hayom? Melamed, come here to tell us that he was born that day. I'm not just, 120 years old. Today, this is my birthday. Melamed Shakadosh Baruch Hu. We learn from it that Hashem sits and fills the days and years of tzaddikim to give them complete, perfect years. Full years. And he passed away once his years were filled, a perfect 120. Okay. Tanya Reb Shimon ben Yochai Omer. Here comes a new discussion. You see, in the Mishnah, we had this formula. Personal mitzvahs apply anywhere. Land, crop-related mitzvahs are specific to Eretz Yisrael. We have some exceptions. We discussed Arla, Kilayim, Chadash. Now we're going to say it's not so simple. But these are actually subject to a multifaceted machlekes. Tanya Rabbi Shimon Yochai Omer. He says like this. Sholish mitzvahs. We're meant to know that there are 3 mitzvahs that are nitztavu Yisrael b'chnesasan la'aretz, that Klal Yisrael accepted when they enter Eretz Yisrael. Rashi explains these are, farming mitzvahs, which were not really applicable in the desert. They didn't plant, they didn't, farm. So it really was only applicable when they entered Eretz Yisrael. But you should know that they're not limited to Eretz Yisrael. They apply, and it makes sense that they should apply. Why? Uma Chadash. You see, the Chadash restriction is certainly applicable everywhere because, according to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the term used by Chadash applies everywhere. And once that's a given, once we know that Chadash applies everywhere, we'll draw from Chadash to other mitzvahs, to Arla and Kilayim, as follows. Through a Kal V'Chaim. Oma Chadash she'ein Yisur Yisur Olam. You see, Chadash has 3, sort of mitigating factors. It's not a forever Isur. The new crop is only Isur until the Omer is brought on the 16th of Nisan. Number 1. Ve'ein Yisur Yisur Ana. You can benefit. You can't consume the new crop until the Omer, but you can enjoy, you can benefit from, you can feed your animal. There's no Isur Ana. It's only a consumption Isur, a personal consumption Isur, Isur Achila. So there's another mitigating factor. Number 3, v'yesh hetali Yisuri. Even on the 16th day of Nisan, where the new crop is Asr until the Omer, on that very day, it snaps into permissibility once you bring the Omer. So you see that even within the time of Isser, you can sort of switch to Heter. So despite its leniencies, 3 in total, Noyeg ben ba'aretz, ben b'chutz la'aretz, it applies everywhere. Certainly Kilayim, mixing species up in the farm. Specifically, we're talking about, Kilai HaKerem, where you mix, other grains together with the vines. So these have very, very stringent laws. Kilayim she'isuron Yisur Olam, it's Asr forever. Yisuron Yisur no, you can't even enjoy it. Ve'natal Yisuron, there's no way for it to become mutter. So of course, it applies even outside Eretz Yisrael. Ein adin she'inhago ben ba'aretz ben b'chutz la'aretz. V'adin la'arla b'shnayim, and likewise Erla can also become Asr based on this Kal V'Chaimer because of 2. It has 2 factors, 2 of the 3 factors. It's although it's not Asr forever, it's only a 3-year Isr, but it has the other elements. It's Isr Hana'ah, and there's no way for the thing which is Asr to become Mutter. So basically, we have proven, says Reb Shimon Yochai, just like Chadash is Noyeg in Chutz La'aretz because Moshe V'Yisechem is international, same with Kilayim and Arla based on the Kal V'Chaimer. Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon, disagrees with his father on all accounts. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon Omer, he says first of all, Chadash, skip Chutz La'aretz. Moshe V'Yisechem is only Eretz Yisrael. While Arla, that's not a Kal V'Chaimer, it's based on Locha Mishmei Sinai, and Kilayim is actually only with the Rabbanon. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Shimon Omer, Kol Malkim, Kol Mitzvah, Shenitzdavu Yisrael Kodim Knesasan La'aretz. all mitzvahs, which applied before, prior to Yisrael entering Eretz Yisrael. Explains Rashi, meaning chayvos haguf, personal mitzvahs, not farm or crop or plant related. Those, in fact, apply internationally. Nehagas bein ba'aretz, so all mitzvahs shem stav Yisrael before entering those mitzvahs nehagas bein ba'aretz v'mechutz la'aretz. But la'achak nesasin la'aretz, as opposed to land-related mitzvahs, eina nehagas ela ba'aretz. That's specific to Eretz Yisrael. And there are some exceptions. Chutz min hashmatas ksafim v'shloach avadim. The two mitzvahs that seem to be land-related, for giving a loan in honor of Shemitah, shloach avadim, sending away a slave in honor of Yovel, that although they seem to be, Eretz Yisrael related, we'll see soon why, she'aval pishin nestav aleim la'achak nisasin la'aretz, still you should know they're not limited to Eretz Yisrael, neheges, ben ba'aretz, ben chutz la'aretz. Asks the Gemara, why would you even think that these are land related? There's nothing to do with land. Hashmatas ksafim chayvas hagufi. Abandoning the loan, forgiving a debt, that's a personal issue, nothing to do with land. So why would I think it's related? Well, I would think because of the following brisa, which indicates that it only started when they entered Eretz Yisrael, I'll think it's connected, and the answer it's not. The Sani Rabbi Yehuda Shmita Shamay. The pasuk this makes reference to two types of shmitas. B'shtei shmitas hakasim medaber. Which ones? Achas shmitas karka. One is to leave the land fallow. V'achas shmitas saf, and one is to forgive a debt. And we sort of connect the two things and wrap them together. Bizman shatem meshamet karka, the meshamet ksafim. Only once you enter Eretz Yisrael, where shmitas karka is applicable, then you do the same regarding loans. Bizman sha'iyata meshamet karka, iyata meshamet ksafim. But when karka was not a factor before they entered Eretz Yisrael, there was no din of shmitas ksafim. So I would think that in fact the two things are so closely linked, and only relates to Eretz Yisrael. Comes Reb Shimon says, you should know that once they enter Eretz Yisrael and the shmitas ksafim was in fact activated, you should know it applies internationally. Asks the Gemara, well, how do you know that? Perhaps it's so strongly linked to shmitas karka that it only applies in Eretz Yisrael. The Eimal will say like this: but Malkaim sha'ata meshamet karka, only the location which requires shmitas karka, i.e. Eretz Yisrael, over there we say atam meshamet ksafim. Ubemalkam she'ein atam meshamet karka, but outside Eretz Yisrael where shmitas karka is not applicable, ein atam meshamet ksafim, there's no din of forgiving a debt. Talmud Lema, we have an extra pasuk that includes that as well. Kikoro shmita l'Hashem. That extra pasuk tells you, well, shmitas ksafim is everywhere mikol makim. The same question we had regarding the second item that he mentioned. Shluach avadim, why even mention that releasing that slave kam yovel is applicable all over? Well, of course, it's a personal obligation unrelated to land and farming. Chayvas hagufi. Answer is, I would think otherwise. You should declare freedom. Ba'aretz, I would think, well, ba'aretz means ba'aretz in b'chutz la'aretz loy, that releasing your slave is only a land related, Eretz Yisrael related halacha. Tamalaymar yovel hi. The pasuk adds the phrase yovel hi, well, unlimited, mukal makim, in all circumstances. So why then, in fact, did the pasuk indicate something to do with the Eretz? And the answer is that it is somewhat related to our presence in Eretz Yisrael. Although it applies outside Eretz Yisrael, but it's only as long as we live in Eretz Yisrael. Bezman shadroyer noeg ba'aretz. Only when the halachas of yovel and freedom and all that is being practiced in Eretz Yisrael, which basically means we live in Eretz Yisrael. Noeg b'chutz la'aretz. At that point, by extension, it applies everywhere. But ein droyer noeg ba'aretz. But if Klal Yisrael is not residing for the most part in Eretz Yisrael, and therefore yovel doesn't apply there, ein noeg b'chutz la'aretz, it doesn't apply elsewhere. So it is somewhat linked, but technically speaking, both these halachas, shmitas ksafim, and the sending away of the slave applies outside Eretz Yisrael as well. Okay, so far we have two shittas regarding chadash, arla, and kilayim in chutz la'aretz. Reb Shimon Yochai says absolutely they're all naig in chutz la'aretz min ha'Torah. Reb Shimon says chadash not, arla is only halacha, Moshe Messinai, and kilayim is midirei sefer. Tanan Hasam. We have a Mishnah in Mesechas Arla. HaChadash also min ha'Torah. B'chol mokem. Chadash, everywhere. Min ha'Torah. Arla halacha. We observe the halachas of Arla outside Eretz Yisrael only based on the halacha. What does that mean? We'll see in a minute. V'kalayim divrei sefer. We're careful with kilayim, which the Gemara later actually says is specific to kilay Kalaya Kerem, meaning, a Kalayim taking place in a vineyard, it's only Midrabanan. Now, what does Erla Halacha mean? My Halacha. We have two opinions. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Shmuel, so Rabbi Yehuda quotes Shmuel that it's only a minig, it's only a practice, it's a custom. It's not even a chiv midrabanan. Hilchas Medina. Ula Amar Rabbi Yechanan, he quotes Rabbi Yechanan saying, no, it's halacha b'shem Sinai. Although it's not a pasuk, it's not a kal v'chomer, but it was brought down from Sinai by Moshe Rabbeinu, and we observe it wholeheartedly, even in Chutz La'aretz. And that's different than Kilayim, which is only midrabanan. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, in the name of Shmuel, in the Chutz La'aretz, observance of Erla and Kalaya Kerem is more or less on the same track. It's sort of not mandated Minat Torah. But according to Ula Amar Rabbi Yechanan, big difference between the two. Erla is Minat Torah. It's rooted in Halacha Mishmei Sinai versus Kilayim, which is only Midrabanan. And that's why, it says Ula, in a minute, we're going to see a big difference between the two halachas. We're certainly more strict regarding Erla and Chutz La'aretz because Halacha Mishmei Sinai versus Kilayim, which is only Midrabanan. Amalei Ula le Rabbi Yehuda. So Ula turns to Rabbi Yehuda. It works well according to my opinion. The Amina that I said that Erla is Halacha Mishmei Sinai versus Kilayim, which is only Rabbanan. Hani Deshani Lon. That explains the differentiation between the two things. Being Safek Erla, the Safek Kilayim. Big difference between when there is an uncertainty regarding Erla. We're not sure whether it's 3 years old or not. We're more strict versus a Safek involving Kilayim, which is only the Rabbanan, which allows for more leniency. Where do we find this distinction? Listen to this mission. Safek Erla. We have a Safek whether something is Erla. Can it be consumed? It depends where. Ba'aretz, if you're in Eretz Yisrael where it's Erla Minat Torah, then Asr. A Safek is also Asr. It's a Safek D'Oraisa, L'Gol Chumra. But if you're living in Syria, which Rashi explains is the land outside Eretz Yisrael in Syria, where it didn't really have the status of Eretz Yisrael, it was captured by David HaMelech privately. So there we say, B'Syria, if it's only a Safek, it's mutter. B'Chutz La'aretz, if you're really further out of Eretz Yisrael, where there's no concern that it'll be confused and mixed up with Eretz Yisrael, Yored v'lo keach, you can actually go down to the field, and purchase from the Igai's produce, despite the fact that it's very likely there's some Erla sitting there, it's a Safek, you can buy it. As long as he doesn't actually observe him picking off those Erla trees. So even though there's a strong concern that it might actually be Erla, there's enough room for uncertainty, which allows you to actually go and buy it off his field. So, again, regarding Safek Erla, Eretz Yisrael is Asr, Syria is Mutter, and Chutz La'aretz, it's even more mutter. Vilu Gaba Kilayim. But there's a difference, a slight difference, regarding Safek Erla and Chutz La'aretz, where we say, you can go down and purchase from the guy as long as you don't see him pick. And by Kilayim, you can go even a step further. Vilu Gaba Kilayim Tanan. By Kilayim, we have a Mishnah as follows: Kera Marato Yarak, V'Yarak Nimkar Chutz Alay. So you know for a fact that this vineyard has some vegetables growing within it. And you walk by the vineyard and there's some vegetables for sale. We don't know, is it from the Kilayim or not? There's a Safek, right? So Be'eretz Asr. If you're in Eretz Yisrael, you can't buy because it's Safek D'Oraisa, which is Asr. B'Syria, it's Mutter. And B'Chutz La'aretz, it's even more Mutter. And even more than Safek Erla. There we said you can go down and buy it as long as you don't see him pick. Yored v'lo you can actually have the guy enter his vineyard, pick for you. So he's picking off the tree. It's a Kilayim. As long as the Yisrael doesn't pick it off the tree himself, or the vegetable off the ground. So, we make some sort of, we want to discern, we want it to be nikar, that there is something called Kilayim, and, it basically keeps you mindful. It makes you cognizant and aware of the fact that Kilayim, at least in Eretz Yisrael, is Asr. So we want to make that, sort of hecker. Don't go pick it off the tree yourself. But otherwise, it's mutter, which is even a step beyond the heter of Safek Erla and Chutz La'aretz. You can buy it, but you can't pick it. So we see there's a difference, and it makes sense because, says Ula, because by Erla, it's rooted in Erla, even Chutz La'aretz is Halacha Mishmei Sinai. and therefore there's room for stringency, even by Safek Arla, whereas by Kalaya Keren, which is only Midrabanan and Chutz La'aretz, we're even more lenient. So it makes sense that we're making a distinction between the two, because this is Minat Torah, this is not. El Didach. But according to you, Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel, that both Arla and Kalaya Keren in Chutz La'aretz is only the Rabbanan, so why that distinction between the two? Nisni. So the Mishnah sort of put them both on the same boat. Either in both cases, Arla and Kalaya Keren can go down and just purchase, don't pick. Or in both cases, go pick. And so the Gemara, you're right. Rabbi Yehuda was quoting Shmuel, right? Shmuel himself said there's no difference. Shmuel, the Rabbanan, Shmuel told Rav Hanan actually, fix up the Mishnahs. Modify the Mishnahs. They should be on the same track. Tani, you should modify it to either or. Either in both cases you can go purchase, or in both cases you can go pick. And in fact, Mar the Ravana, Mar the son of Ravana, masculine Kula. He took the lenient track. In both cases you can go pick. You can have the guy pick, so you can sort of ask him to pick for you. But there is some restriction. Don't pick it yourself. The Yisrael shouldn't pick it off the ground. Levi turned to Shmuel and addressed him in a very complimentary way. Aryech. We find in Bereshis, Aryech was Melech al-Asar. So Aryech is a term to describe a Melech. Some learn Aryech is lashon of Aryeh, like a king, like a lion. So Shmuel was given the title Aryech because the Farshim explained that we paskin like Shmuel when it comes to Dinei. Hilchas like Shmuel bedinei. So in any case, he addressed him as Aryech, and he says, "Look, sapik livano eichel. I don't mind that you provide me with peiros which are Safek Arla. Just pick it off that you don't tell me where it is and give it to me. As long as I'm not appraised of the fact that it's Arla, it's okay. Even though you know it's Arla, it doesn't matter." So they're very lenient when it comes to Safek Arla in Chutz La'aretz. Rav Avia, Rabbi Barav Chanan, and Mesapku Spuki Ladodi. They would actually swap with each other. He picked Arla and gave it to his friend without divulging the source, and his friend did the same to him. So we see the Chacham were very makel. As long as there is some sort of some sort of restriction. You can't go ahead and eat Arla outright. Even when you're in Chutz La'aretz, you want to be aware and cognizant of the concept of Arla, so that when you get there to Yisrael, you're careful. So there's some sort of limitation involved, but ultimately you can actually have even Arla as long as you're not aware. And technically, to you, it's a suffix. It's mutter. Okay, let's recap today's daf. Moishvei Seich. Is it specific to Eretz Yisrael or even Chutz La'aretz? We have two shittos, and although we find that the Bnei Yisrael would only consume the local goods after the Omer was brought, after 16th of Nisan, so according to the shita, that Moishvei Seichem did not require waiting for Yerusha v'Yeshiva, so it makes sense that they would have to wait for the Omer to be brought in order to consume the Chadash. But according to the other shita, why couldn't they just have the Chadash right away when they entered Eretz Yisrael? They didn't need to, because they had the man, which lasted until then, and we went into the whole discussion that the man lasted for 40 years, although not actually 40 years, but the Ugois that they took out of Mitzrayim gave them the man experience for a total of 40 years. Moshe Rabbeinu was born and passed away on the same day. Zayin Ba'adar, Hashem is Malish, Nisem Shal Sadikim Yom L'Yayim, Chadash L'Chodesh. Now, regarding Chadash, Arla, and Kalayim in Chutz La'aretz, we have several shittas. According to Rav Shimon Yochai, they're all Minat Torah. According to Rav Lezer Rav Shimon, Chadash is Minat Torah. Sorry, Chadash is not Noig b'Chutz La'aretz, and Arla is only Halacha, and Kalayim is only Midivrei Seifrim. What does Halacha mean? We have two opinions. Either it means Halacha Mishmei Sinai, or Hilchas HaMedina is only a minhag, and is only with the Rabbanon. And ultimately the Gemara says that we're very makel, what suffix. When it comes to Arla, Ukalaya Kerem, according to some shittas, you can actually go down into the the guy's field and buy straight out of the field, as long as there's some sort of hecker, some recognition. You don't actually pick yourself, or like the other ones that they swapped it in a way that it's not evident that it's Vadei Arla, which satisfies this stipulation that it has to have some sort of hecker, and then it's mutter. All the best to you, and it's Tzlacha Rabbah.